from the airport to be here. Yeah, I don't want to give away too much because I don't know if he's going to have jokes about it. Maybe I already did give away too much. If so, I'm really sorry, but you'll be fine. So please, lots of love. Go on, go on, go on, go on. For the first time ever on the podcast, everybody!
Appreciate it. Yes, I did just come from the airport like 30 minutes ago. That worked. Yeah, I was packing for the airport before I came here. I just landed, and my son comes up to me and he goes, "Dad, why do you pack a personal computer and a work computer when you travel?" And I wanted to be honest, so I was like, "I do it for your mom, because if the plane does crash, I want my internet search history to go with me, so that way save some awkwardness." I don't know if you, so I do have kids. I have 3 kids, which is too many kids. It's like one too many kid, right? Like, don't tell them that. They get very emotionally scarred. But we planned the first 2 kids, and then we had what my wife calls a blessing. And there's a lot of young people here, so you might need to know this, but it is a very different feeling finding out that your wife is pregnant when you're trying to have a baby versus finding out your wife is pregnant when you're not trying to have a baby. Like, and the best way I can explain it is like having the cops show up to your house when you call them versus having the cops just kick down your front door, right? Because your reaction is the same too. You're like, it wasn't me, I didn't do it. Where's the DNA evidence? She had all of that, it was true. And I don't know if it's different in Europe as it is in the U.S., but I'm American, and in the U.S. they don't really teach you to have kids. They just like give you random tips on how not to kill your baby. Like, that's what they do. And when we had our first kid, like, it was a big thing. They were like, "Don't shake your baby." I think it's still a thing, but like back then it was a real big thing. There was commercials on TV. It was like, "Don't shake your baby." They give you a pamphlet. It was like, "This is what happens if you shake your baby." And I remember looking at my wife and I was like, who the fuck would shake a baby? That is insane. And then they send you home with the baby. And guys, at the end of that week, you're like, I really want to shake this fucking baby. Like, not a lot, but enough to shut it up. I did not. I didn't shake it. Completely okay. Survived everything. Yeah, our baby, he made it. We actually, so much so that we were actually looking at adoption recently before we moved to Europe. That was one thing. You know, my wife and I were doing okay. I can afford an Uber from the airport to come do comedy. Like, things are going okay. So we were like, oh, we're gonna adopt. So before we came over, we were in the U.S. We went to the thing. We were trying to figure it out, and you learn a lot through the process. Like, the one thing I learned is you actually get approved for adoption based on race, religion, and gender, which was fascinating because, like, I thought if you were racist, you like no babies, but like apparently, like, there's a checklist. Like, you can be racist and still get a girl, or like, I don't know how that worked. And I couldn't get it out of my mind. Like, I was like, what possibly could like, what scenario would you be like, I don't know, rejected from the black kid, but like approved for the Chinese kid? And like, the only thing I could think of is like they're in the room and they're like, well, they're a little racist, but they're good at math, so maybe give them the baby. But they didn't. They actually kick you out. They ask you nicely to leave if you do that, which is always awkward. And then, like I said, we moved to Europe about a year ago. And when we got here, my youngest son is at that age. So my youngest son is 9. Which is right at that toddler age where they act like they're drunk, right? Like, they have zero filter, they don't understand anything, there's no context, so they just say whatever they want. And we met a family friend of ours, and they are Indian. And my son did not know that India was from Asia. And we had to explain that to him because American education. And my son goes, he's like, oh, do you stockpile rice? And we were like, oh my God, don't say that. That's completely inappropriate. You can't say that. And then fast forward like 3 weeks later, and we're at their house at dinner, and there's a knock on the door. And we open it, and there's a man standing there with 5 kilos of rice, delivering it to their house. And I just remember my son looking at me like, well, what the fuck did I get in trouble for? Like, I nailed it. And then we had to like, so now as an American, we're like, I think we just taught him that stereotypes are there for a reason. Like, I don't, like, the only, best case scenario, he turns into the next Donald Trump. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen with him. Guys, that's my sound. Thank you.
I love as a sign of wealth being like Uber from the airport to the open mic. Ooh, living it up large. Thank you all for being here. We've got 2 more comedians. But I want to say a big thank you for coming out and for supporting live comedy. This is our like our workout space, our like little like